if they ever come to the United States again on tour,
yeah, we definitely got to get tickets.
You need to get tickets.
Yeah, we need.
If I have to be rolled in there on a stretcher, I want to go.
It's better than being a dumb one.
All right. Yeah.
Hey!
Hey, we're back. Welcome to the Intelligent Donkey.
When did you guys show up?
Yeah.
Where you been?
If the lighting changes and her shirt changes and things like that, just know that this is take 2.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, little technical difficulties with the original first part of this video, but you'll see the reaction to Sahara by Nightwish shortly here. But first I wanted to say a big fat thank you to all of you for being able to
get you to 1,000.
Yeah, push me over the 1,000 mark. I can finally start getting videos monetized, and that's a good thing. Even though I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the fun. But it's nice to actually top that mark here. You can't see it on your screen right now, nor can you hear it. I'm going to double check and make sure of that. That was the technical difficulty that we had a moment ago. And of course, you can see all of the comments by going back to the other videos, such as in particular the one that pushed us over 1,000 is the Pink Floyd and Nightwish versions of High Hopes. We had comments that talked about the comparison of the two versions of the song itself, such as I love this song from Floyd, Nightwish just butchered it.
No, they didn't.
No, they did not.
No. I did. I'm giving it away. Anyone that guessed that I like Pink Floyd better is right. But with that being said, I didn't think Nightwish butchered it. I just didn't like it as much.
Right. It's a matter of personal preference, not so much a matter of whether or not one was truly better than the other.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we had a lot of comments, a few other requests that we always get, by the way, too, such as somebody asking for David Bowie's Black Star. We had one where we had a nice double reaction suggestion for David Bowie's The Man Who Sold the World. Do the original there, and then the Nirvana cover of that. I thought that was pretty interesting. A lot of comments about the fact that David Gilmour actually endorsed, more or less, the Nightwish version. He loved it, I guess.
Yeah.
But we had other comments, of course, talking about how much y'all thought that Nana's reaction to the Nightwish one would be the better choice. But that actually was the consensus. The consensus was that it was supposed to be the Nightwish version, but guess what? She preferred the Pink Floyd version.
Yep, I did. And somewhere in here, someone said that, what was it? I accused. Why do Americans always jump to accusing people of taking drugs when they're sweaty?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. And that's not what I was doing. I was just asking because, we're kids from the 70s and 60s and 70s. And pretty much whenever somebody was sweaty like that, they were doing drugs or, drinking alcohol.
Yep, exactly.
A lot of alcohol. So I was just wondering.
Right. And some people went on to explain in more detail things like what one said a dumb assumption is that people sweat if they're using drugs. A typical American
that's the
brain
one.
fart. Yeah,
Yep,
there it
that's
is.
the
Yeah,
one I was
your channel should be
commenting
renamed. No, the channel's not going to be renamed. I replied in kind. You can read the comment yourself like that. But basically, the person who criticized Nana's question here simply didn't explain the lack of sweat on Marco and Juka.
Yeah, that too. But, I guess for them it seemed like I was just assuming that they were on drugs.
Yeah. But such was not the case. And there was other comments that explained in more detail the fact that none of the members of Nightwish used drugs, which is a refreshing,
Yes.
nice thing to hear. And of course, some other comments about things that I did know, which was that Juka was a sufferer of insomnia,
Yeah.
and he also had a migraine on the night of the particular concert that we actually showed.
That is amazing that he was able to do a whole concert with a migraine.
Yes.
Because I have a real hard time doing anything when I have my migraines.
Yeah, as you once explained, the ADHD, the anxiety, the depression.
In our first take, I have been a sufferer of all that.
Including the migraines.
Including the migraines, yes.
So now we're just going to enjoy some music here. So on with the reaction to Sahara, or Sahara. We'll talk about that in a minute.
On with the show, this is it.
By Nightwish. All right. We have a new video to watch. Well, it's new to Nana, but I actually haven't heard this version of this song either. I have heard the studio version, the original studio version of Sahara, or Sahara, whichever way you want to pronounce it. The name Sahara, as in the Sahara Desert, doesn't actually appear anywhere in the lyrics. And no, sorry, I wasn't able to find a live version, that actually had the closed captions.
I'd like to find out how your subscribers say that. Is it Sahara or Sahara?
Yeah.
We say Sahara.
Yep. In our Englishized version of the name of the large expanse in Africa. The lyrics certainly reflect this idea of being with 1,001 Nights Unseen, the philosopher, and the queen. So we get this whole African, Middle Eastern, Egyptian type of vibe throughout the song like this. The song was, the original studio version of this song was actually on the album Dark Passion Play.
Oops. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm getting a kick out of Great Nana Shenanigans is busy munching some animal crackers. She's got a cat on her lap that keeps looking at her, going up to her face every time, looking, watching her eat it.
Yeah.
And now Great Nana Shenanigans accidentally spilt her coffee a little bit. So after we're done here, I'm going to help her clean up.
Yeah, nice recovery there.
You didn't spill too much. Not too bad.
But anyway, yeah, you can read the lyrics there quick, or you can call them up on your phone if you want to follow along. I think Floor Jansen's vocals here are plenty I
don't want to get chewed out again.
Oh, okay.
For not paying attention to the song.
All right. But we are getting back to the live version of things here instead of the studio versions. Phone. The original was with an Ed Olson on Dark Passion Play in 2007. And I've heard the studio version, but not this one here in concert. This concert version here was called Live at Tampa, and it's the only video that I know of on YouTube of Nightwish doing a song in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Even though this is part of a longer tour that they did in the spring of 2016.
Okay.
Is where it comes from here. So the tour would have been the Endless Form's Most Beautiful Tour, the same tour that brought us the greatest show on earth.
Okay. Since you said that, now you'll find out from your subscribers.
Yep, exactly. And I'm sure there are some other videos out there somewhere of them doing a concert in the United States. But let's call this up. This is, Sahara. Just going to go with that pronunciation.
Yeah, the way we say it.
Live in Tampa, Nightwish. Here we go.
Making faces at the camera. Well, I like it.
it's fun stuff. Some of Tuomas's best songwriting was done for the Annette Olson era in 2007. Like this, several of the songs from that album appear on the concert at Wacken that we went through all the way through. This one was obviously not at that Wacken concert, but appeared just a couple years later.
Okay.
Or 3 years later here.
If they ever come to the United States again on tour,
yeah, we definitely got to get tickets.
You need to get tickets.
Yeah, we need.
If I have to be rolled in there on a stretcher, I want to go.
Someone's a little camera aware there.
All of them made faces.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, they get they realize they're on camera. It's like,
Get goofy.
but that's another one of the reasons, like I've brought up before, that they're so wonderful to watch live because it's so clear that they are just enjoying themselves
Yep.
immensely
Yep.
doing this stuff, no matter how much hard work it is.
Exactly.
It's fun.
And time consuming and whatnot all.
All right.
There we go.
There we go. I love it.
That was good.
All those
It
songs
was
are
fun
good.
to
I mean,
listen to.
such a rich catalog of stuff from all three singers, really.
Yeah.
When you think about it. I mean, here they were on the first real tour after the release of the first album with Floor.
Okay.
Endless Forms, Most Beautiful. So they still had all this stuff from the Tarja era and the Annette era yet to play. And they played, of course, a whole bunch of it at Wacken, Germany, at the open air in 2013. I would presume they spent most of 2014 writing and recording Endless Forms, Most Beautiful, which was released in 2015 then.
Okay.
And then in 2016 was this concert, among other things. And yet one of the most spectacular live videos that we have of Nightwish is their Sleeping Sun, which goes back to the Oceanborn album with the Tarja era in 2016 also.
Okay.
So I mean, such a rich, and I have nothing against either Tarja or Annette. They're both excellent singers. I just think, quite frankly, that Floor Jansen does all of their songs better than either one of them.
Yeah, she has a better stage presence too, I think.
Yeah, definitely better than Annette. Against Tarja, who's actually a friend of hers, it's not so sure. But
I think
Yeah,
for me,
definitely-
she has a better stage presence even.
yeah,
And Tarja's not bad.
yeah.
You know.
But I mean, what a rich catalog! Another great song.
So I don't know if you explained this to me before, but why did they
Why did they fire
Tarja?
Tarja? There were a number of reasons. We could actually make a whole reaction video out of going over the letter, which has actually been made public, and it's on a YouTube video
Oh, wow.
of why they did it, because it wasn't
Just
just
a
for one reason,
Skim over. The main
but the
reason.
main skim over was that Tarja's husband, along with Tarja, were starting to overstep their reach, overstep what they were authorized to do with the band Nightwish as far as running the business operations.
Oh, okay. They're
And
trying
so
to take over,
they were trying to take over.
essentially.
And admittedly, Tarja was a founding member of Nightwish, and she co-founded it with Tuomas,
Okay.
who actually remains then as the only original member of the band from day one,
Yeah.
when they were founded in 1996.
Yeah.
But they even, they complained about diva behavior on her part. She was starting to get to be too much of the show
Yeah.
in some way. So that and other reasons.
Self-importance.
She got to be a little bit, went to her head, I
Yeah.
think, a little bit too much.
That's too bad.
It is too bad. And then there was, as far as up to that point, the longest gap in their career between albums. I mean, they've had longer gaps since, but up to that point, they had not had a more than 2 year gap between any two albums. Okay. And then, of course, they go from 2004 to 2007 with the next one, which was Dark Passion Play, which is where Sahara comes from.
Okay.
But by then, they had also hired Annette Olsen from Sweden, of all places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she sang all of those great tunes on there, like The Poet and the Pendulum, which we have to react to yet. We can do either the floor version, which is spectacular, or the quite good Annette version of it.
Or we could do both.
Or we could do one of those double reactions where we compare the original to a later version. I definitely do want to stick with live versions wherever possible, because as good as all the studio stuff is, like the studio stuff from Yesterwind that we have gone through, it's still, to me, the best to go through the live versions, because they really do excel in concert.
That's so funny, because I know years ago everybody was like, you don't want to see the live version or hear the live version.
Yeah, exactly. And that's true of many bands. That's true of many bands. Yep. But as I mentioned I mentioned it in a video that you haven't seen because it got blocked. I'm going to redo the video. So it's Quality Music Quality Music Episode 4. Where I went through how to evaluate musicians based on whether or not they could play live.
Oh, okay.
Better than in the studio, or at least duplicate the sound such that it is good. Or at least have
it good.
Right, and which is a large chunk of the reason why Rush is and will probably forever remain my favorite band.
Okay.
But that's also why bands like Nightwish and Dream Theater and Pink Floyd,
because they do well too.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Because they do spectacularly well live, but there's some notable exceptions to that. Like we watched the Dream Theater live version of The Count of Tuscany, and they sucked. To put it bluntly.
In our opinion.
In our opinion. And you were the one to first point out that you just didn't like it. I'm not sure if it's a matter of you not liking the song, or if it was a case of the performance being bad, but I definitely did not like the live performance.
Well, then maybe we gotta have me listen to the
studio version. Which is, one of the rare instances where the studio version is better. I'll tell you what, though, like Octavarium was definitely better live than in the studio. In the Name of God, I think, though, that we listened to, it was better in the studio than live.
Okay.
But it wasn't bad live either. That's the thing. It was excellent
Either way, right?
Yeah, and in my time of watching, going to concerts, which ended a long time ago just because of financial reasons more than anything else. Like we're still going to get you to Nightwish if they tour the United States again. But or maybe we can get up enough money to go to Germany and go to Wacken open air.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun to go to that concert if they do open air again.
Provided my body holds up.
But I've had a number of unique surprises when it comes to the live performances of bands. Like one of the concerts I went to was back to 1977, was a double bill actually. So it wasn't really an open act so much as the fact that they did start first. Well, it was the Beach Boys with Chicago. I went to see Chicago. I didn't care about the Beach Boys. What surprised me, though, was how good the Beach Boys actually were.
Yeah.
1977 is 10 years past their prime. And they sounded great. The harmonies were perfect.
Awesome.
It was just, it was one of the most amazing concert experiences ever. A little earlier that same year, I went to see Kiss, and the opening act was a band that was also just past their prime, Uriah Heep. And,
never heard of them.
I'm sure some of you in the listening audience here have heard of them, and I was expecting and got some of the the classic songs like "Stealin'" and maybe "The Magician's Birthday," although I didn't get that one as an opening. It's a kind of a long song to do as part of an opening act.
Yeah. Okay.
But what they did was a 25-minute performance that actually outshone Kiss.
Oh, wow.
They were also louder than Kiss, which surprised me. And they did a cover of a song by, of all bands, Parliament Funkadelic, an all-black funk band.
You're saying all kinds of names I've never heard.
Yeah, we'll see how many of the people watching this video have heard of some of them. Either which way, it was an amazing live performance, especially not only since they were past their prime, but they had actually changed personnel in a couple of ways. They had a new lead singer. I think they had a new drummer. They were basically an all-new band. So it was really interesting to hear them. Any which way, we're going on and on. Too much talk. We've actually been criticized. Me. But if you liked this, or if you've got some comments of your own to add to this, whether it's about Nightwish or about anything else I talked about. Or how to
pronounce Sahara.
Or how to pronounce Sahara, put in a comment on this. Click on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Yes, I know we're over 1,000. But we could still use.
We're going for 2,000 now.
Yeah, now we're going for 2,000. Let's see how long it takes to get there. So we appreciate all of you, and we love hearing from you. So don't be a donkey of limited intelligence. Instead,
be an intelligent donkey, y'all. Yeehaw!
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching.